Hello and welcome to another edition of the Brooklyn Baby Podcast with me, your host, Charlene Sapp. So how's everyone doing today? How is everyone doing today? I'm taping this on a Friday and probably going to post it today too. Typically, I typically post on Saturdays, but lately, when I do post a podcast episode, I usually try to have it before 1 p.m. on the given Saturday. So it's been a minute. I did post some cooking clips and videos of myself on YouTube in lieu of my episodes of the podcast. And my last episode was two postings of the same episode, one week and then another week on Confessions of a Retired Teacher. If you haven't heard it, check it out on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share button and spread the word for your girl. And also feel free to do some shopping on my Brooklyn Baby hair care, skincare website, as well as my Sab Publishing website, where you can purchase my first book. And I told you I'm working on two more, Brooklyn Baby and Quotable Quotes 365. And on my Brooklyn Baby hair care, skincare website, order something for your hair and your skin. For your whole family, for yourself too, and for your boo. Okay, so this episode is about economics. Money rules the world, but you don't want to be in love with money, because the love of money is the root of all evil. My mother always raised us to believe, don't love money, don't say you love money, just don't. That's greed, and that lends itself to corruption, and it's just not, it's like another sin, the love of money. Okay, so don't love it. We need it, but don't be obsessed and love it. And that leads me to the main crux of today's topic, economics. I know a lot of people are dealing with loss of jobs it could be through being fired, being laid off, whatever the case may be. And my heart goes out to all the federal workers and other workers who have lost their jobs during this current presidential regime. It's clearly deliberate, clearly to hit people in their wallet. And I know a lot of people in the DC metro area, a lot of them are federal workers, and a lot of them tend to be people of African American descent. So call me what you want to, but I really believe that this was an attempt to hit people, primarily government workers, in their pockets, who are primarily, a lot of them are of ethnic or minority origin. And my dad used to always say, I just have a feeling if Trump comes back in office, because he heard whisperings of trying to mess with government employees. And he always felt that, it's probably to hurt and cripple black and other minority people from making their money. Okay, but I digressed on my main topic. My main topic is, it's hard out there, and I get that. But my main point is, if you can, try to go to business for yourself, so you don't have to rely on other people for your bread. If you can, invest in something, whether it's property, put money in the stock market, like a good lucrative investment. Try to have multiple streams of income. If you've been dreaming about starting a business, if you can afford it and swing it and get a grant or something to get you started, but something lucrative that won't put you into, no, and I know a lot of businesses don't succeed and a lot of businesses fail, but you don't know unless you try. So my main point of all of this, try to have multiple streams of income. Multiple streams of income. And that could look like what I've just mentioned. It could be working a main job and starting a little business on the side, or straight up working different jobs, even odd jobs, or not an odd job. Work two jobs if you can swing it. Investing, thinking about something maybe that you're great at, and start your own business. If you have the startup money, great. And a lot of businesses don't require too much startup. You just never know until you try. You never know. I know people who are great at doing different things. They might be great at cooking, baking. They may be great at doing hair, nails. They may be great at cleaning, doing landscaping, lawns. They may be good at providing childcare. They may, it's just so many things that we're not thinking about to be outside the box to make some money. Okay, so just think about something maybe you're great at. People are good at personal training, working out people to make money. Some people so just think about something. And let's not forget, I know when I rely on going to the airport, I use Uber. So maybe some gig work, it was delivery work. There's so many options that weren't even available to people that there are now. Gig work like Uber, DoorDash, using your own vehicle. And there are some delivery companies that, they'll let you use their vehicle. But I guess what I'm trying to say at the end of the day, as my mother always says, or used to say, make hay when the sun is shining. Try to get multiple streams of income so you're not lacking, because the world, everything's going up. And because of this current war in Iran, I was just looking at CNN before jumping on this podcast, prices are going up with gas. I'm glad I'm retired. I don't have to leave out unless I'm trying to go work out at my gym, see family members, friends, hang out with family members or friends, but I don't have to burn gas to go to anyone's job anymore in my life due to my retirement May of last year from teaching. However, most people do have to go to a job, and her gas might go up to, it's like $4 or more a gallon because of this new war in Iran. So the prices, I just did grocery shopping before hopping on earlier today too. Groceries are expensive. It was like unbelievable. I had not many things in my cart, and when I rang out at the register, it was approximately $75 for things that shouldn't be $75. Ridiculous. So my point is, people, stay alert. Stay on top of your economics, your money, before your economics get on top of you. Make that hay while the sun is shining. If you have a great paying job and you could have excess and things saved without a second job, great for you, because you're unlike a lot of people in society these days. But if not, if you can swing it, try to have at least another stream of income, at least. And I know there was a point when I was a teacher, and I wanted to just have extra money. So I got a little side gig job every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays. And it was really nice. I met great people who I'm still in contact with. And, I had and it was my little extra rainy day money job, vacation money, shopping money, hair, nail money job, extra gas money job, emergency money job. And I worked that gig for 5 years. And the thing that made me stop was the pandemic was raging through the country, and I didn't want to get sick with COVID. This before the vaccine. So I stopped that little part-time weekend job after 5 years. I resigned from that July of 2020, and I had started that job June of 2020. And it was 5 years of great times. Great times. And it was actually with the company Enterprise. Yep, it was Enterprise. And we were based, what I did, we were based in RDU. And I was teaching Monday through Friday, and then having a nice fun weekend job working for the car rental company Enterprise. And you might want to know, what did I do? We moved cars. We would meet up at the location on RD at RDU. We had we called it V4, and it was their, I guess you call it their satellite office, location on at RDU, just for enterprise. And we would meet up 8 a.m. Saturdays and Sundays, and then we had at least one or two, sometimes three, depending on what the mission was, and we would have a chase driver in at one, sometimes two, sometimes three, sometimes four vans, depending on how the workflow was, and we would go to different locations, some of which on the premises of RDU Airport, and sometimes at the actual enterprise car dealerships, and just move cars. Sometimes move cars from one enterprise rental branch to another. Sometimes we would move. Sometimes we had missions where we had to take long distance trips, but they had a different division of long distance drivers for that. But sometimes we would have to do long distance drives in which we're taking cars to maybe Charlotte, which is 2.5 hours from me. Sometimes going to Greensboro. Sometimes going to the coast of Carolina, like Jacksonville, North Carolina. One time we went there. One time we went to Myrtle Beach. We just went all over, and it was a nice job. We went to Wilmington, Wrightsville Beach. So my point is, that was my hustle. That many people who knew me but didn't know me like that, they didn't know that was my little side hustle, and it had great discounts. So a lot of times when people would hit me up to get rentals for them because of the discount. Family members and friends. When I wanted to take road trips, I didn't want to put mileage on any of my cars, so I would use the great discounts, great perks, and it was nice. It was fun. We would have fun, kiki, haha, me and other workers. But anyway, my point is multiple streams of income, and that through that job, I was able to, sometimes cars were coming straight from the car manufacturer, and truck drivers would drop them off so we got to kind of test drive cars that still had the plastic on them inside. So I was able to test drive. I know when I was making decisions about what vehicle I wanted to purchase next, it was either a Camaro, a Challenger, or a Mustang. So because of that job, I was able to pretty much test drive new and old cars. Because like I said, sometimes we were moving cars from branch to branch. Sometimes we move cars from RDU Airport Lot 5 to other branches, and sometimes we were moving cars fresh off the truck, the transport truck that came from the actual factory, brand new vehicles to different enterprise locations. So it was amazing because I was able to, because at first I wanted a Mustang, and I test drove the Mustang, got to check it out up close and personal. Then I got to test drive the Dodge Challenger, and that made me settle on the Camaro because I said, I think I like the Camaro, and that's why I bought my Camaro. So, yep, but that job let me have the opportunity to enjoy the perks, make extra side money, and it wasn't a matter of needing the money, but again, I like to shop. I like to get my hair done. I like to change up my hair. I like to get toes, nails done, facials, eyebrows done. I like I love perfumes. I like handbags. I like trips. I love going to the beach at least once or twice a year. I like to go out to eat. But yet I'm not digging into my own personal finances or my own credit card, digging into my own bank account, from my main job. So my point is multiple streams of income. And you do what makes you happy, whatever floats your boat, so you do you, and that's okay. Because at the time when I'm talking about, I was, maintaining my residence in Nightdale by myself, paying bills, paying the month, what I had to pay monthly and then paying utility bills and this, that, and the third. And I said, you know what, I want to still have a lot of cushion, So yeah, it was a nice gig, nice. So tap into what makes you happy. It's not what makes other people happy. Um, tap into that, and it, and just like I said, one of the most fun jobs I had was that little part-time job for 5 years with Enterprise. Oh, so much fun. And from that job, a nice coworker who I work with said that, oh, your son, he just recently graduated from college. They have a management training program. That's how my son initially got into uh, Enterprise, and then he was working at a branch. Then it evolved into him getting all these promotions really quickly, because he was a great worker, and then he got into other realms higher up in Enterprise, and now he's an entrepreneur, and he also has multiple. He's always been, since when he was younger, a person that he knew how to make $100 out of 50 cents, and just watching him through the years, there were times in his past he had multiple streams of income through the years, putting his hand in many different pots. So I'm just advocating to you all, if you don't need to, or not need to, it's not necessarily need, well, some people need to, but if you have an interest, why not make that hay while the sun is shining? Why not explore multiple streams of income? And like I said, we've seen pandemics, we've seen things going on with the economy, and we don't know what tomorrow holds, but you don't want to be caught lacking. You don't want to be caught lacking. Find something that's pleasurable to you and just do it. Make money doing something new, something different, possibly something on the side or two. Okay? So I'm going to leave you with that. Stay blessed. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of the Brooklyn Baby Podcast. Until next week, mwah. Bye, my lovelies.